Doesn't help I'm also stuffy. Hey, what's up everybody? How you guys doing? Here with the patch notes analysis for 4.21 Shadows over Hercopolis. This time around, I actually didn't get to see the adventure part of it. With the whole freaking... Oh, also spoilers. Oh my god. With this guy, this dude, whoever this is, Fishman, big teeth. So the adventure mode looks really cool. I'll get into that in a sec. But yeah, other than that, I did, you know, a quick rundown and stuff. Wanted to be able to give you guys a little bit of a briefer video because I know my last ones were very long. And also I'm playing music in it because it really helps with my anxiety. Otherwise, I talk very quickly and I don't breathe. And it becomes a big problem as the video goes on. So, yeah, I hope this one is even more enjoyable for you guys and is more fluid. With that said, let's get going. New Roman god Discordia. Discordia looks really, really cool. I love her design. She has a lot of character to her. She's got really unique abilities. If you'll see, actually, yeah. Well, you'll see them here. She's got basically most of her stuff is catered towards teammates. Like, she's very interactive with the rest of the gods on the board, either her teammates or her enemies. So looking from a duel perspective, I'm not quite sure how she's going to handle. But just to give a brief overview, her passive, whoever has the top damage dealt on the board from her team gets a power buff, which sounds crazy, and it's based off of her level. So I guess that means in duel it'll automatically be her. I'm assuming it can go to her. Otherwise that would suck and she'd have no passive. So that's cool. She starts out with just a power buff and it'll get stronger for her each level. So that's, honestly, that's a pretty nice little, little thing to have in her pocket. Now her clear move is really cool, Unruly Magic. She throws out this little projectile, and it shoots out 6 different ways, each one of those doing its own bit of damage. I think it's a quarter of the damage, and that's really cool. It ends up being pretty impactful in tight corners and stuff because they bounce off of walls. It all looks really discordant, so it's very right? But it's really all flows so well with her character. You know, I feel like sometimes they put some kits in that just don't feel that thematic and stuff. And this god, like her look, her design, everything about it, and also coming from, you know, my perspective on the goddesses, how they usually make them look. I think they did a great job with her, making her look unique in her own way, in terms of body type and just, you know, all that kind of stuff in general, having her own personality, and yeah, just great stuff. Really happy with Hi-Rez. So yeah, she's really all into like invoking madness and stuff, making people fight each other, and that won't work in duel, but I believe they'll still be CC'd. They just won't take increased damage from the other party members that are supposed to be fighting each other when you hit them with something like her Strife, which gives them madness for 1 second where they attack each other for additional damage. Now instead they'll just be maddened, and I guess they'll just go attack minions or something. I don't know what will happen, but they will be CC'd, but it will be, yeah, definitely not as strong. So her place in duel will be interesting. Her ult is very, very unique. It's this huge golden apple that she throws, and it has a very wide detonate range on it. Also not very, you know, it doesn't matter for duel, but it does a lot of damage. It cripples and intoxicates. So, I mean, she's got CC there still. And I think her erratic behavior, which is a dash that makes her invis in a small area, and also gives her crazy decreased cooldowns. I think of like halves the usual time of the cooldowns. You'll just see the timer start to like whir. And that works very well for duel because she can use that ability quite frequently and stand in that. And as long as she has, you know, a good amount of damage to fend off the enemy if they try to engage on her for having used her dash, then it'll work out pretty well for her. So I think she'll be interesting. I really hope that she can be good in duel because there aren't that many like standout mages, especially not like such unique and hype ones. Whenever there's a new god that looks this cool, I always hope that it'll have some potential for duel without being broken. I think it's safe to say she won't be broken for duel. Her buff clear should be pretty cool and stuff with this Unruly Magic, but it's still, according to Ajax, isn't that big. So, wait, she is a mage, right? You guys get me? Okay. People are saying amazing. They're mocking me. Her recolor is cute too. I like the original best, but this is also awesome. Cool. And that apple is even different color. Alright, so let's go into the skins real brief. This guy, Kernunos, I don't know how this is going to get through. This is a beautiful Beauty and the Beast skin for him, where he's clearly Beast. He's destroying everything in the room. You can see the curtains, you can see the mirror, you know, all like very big signature Beast things. Even the candle there, actually, for my man, whatever his name is. And, yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. They've gotten slapped with DMCAs twice before, once for Bastet. The Bastet was a, I had this, I just remembered it, was a Catwoman one, and the Robin skin, which was Scorpion from the fighting game that I don't play, you know, that one. So yeah, they now are kind of, you know, skirting that line again, and I don't know if they'll get away with it, but I really hope they do because it's such a cool skin. Otherwise, I don't know why Hi-Rez is wasting their time making these skins. I think their mission is just to be lowbrow enough of a company like that they don't show up on anybody's radar. And like, even if Disney did find out about this, they're like, you know, what the fuck are we gonna do? It's this little company, a little game company. We don't really care. So I think that's kind of their mentality, and that's how people get away with these kinds of skins. Because otherwise, if they wanted to, you know, they have every right. It's obviously the Beast. But yeah. Let's look at Agent of Darkness Loki. This guy's got a really like realistic look, kind of a what is it? Thieves Guilds and the Dark Brotherhood from Skyrim. He's really like, I like the look a lot for Loki, because Loki otherwise looks so dumb to me. I'm not a big fan of Loki, and this just actually makes him cool and badass in general. So really good skin, but only second to the mariachi. So we'll see if I'm still gonna play it. The Shaman Ganesha, this looks so great. I'm really happy with the skin. My man's a mammoth, which is hype. I love mammoths. And he's got really interesting features. I always think they go a little overboard with some of the effects on these skins, though. Like his, I think it's his, maybe it's his dash. I think the dash, he has like a big thing like right in front of him, and it's a little disorienting, a little bit much to look at, especially like in the team fight. But I'm not in team fights anyway, so I don't care. This Kali skin I'm not too into. It's just like kind of all cyberpunky, and that's not really me. But I don't know. You guys might like it. It's got some cool effects, especially on the 3. Vanquisher Nemesis, her sword is fucking sick. Awesome, awesome sword. Other than that, I feel like something about it looks a little off to me, a little awkward. The effects are a little too bright for me as well. Like I said, I think they go overboard sometimes. But it looks like a cool skin. Some people really love it. I gotta give it another look. The biggest skin, I think, this time around was the Mon Chéri Arachne. This is a nice skin. I can't believe how much detail they put into this. It's like the Izanami skin, that she's like a doll with like, you know, cracks in her face, and she's like undead and scary as shit. But this one is just a really, really great adaptation of that in a different kind of direction with Arachne spiders and everything, her own unique look. I usually hate when they reuse the concept, but this time they did it really well. I will never use this skin, though. There are going to be two types of people with this skin. Those that appreciate it, say that's awesome, but get it the fuck away from me because I'm terrified of it. And those that are, you know, completely into it. And, you know, let me know where you fall. But I do not want to fight this. I do not want to ever be forced to play this. I am not getting it. I don't know, but should I get... No, I'm not getting it. Because then somebody will try to force me to play it. Alright, Wasteland Cucullin is basically a Mad Max style Cucullin, just like the Kumbhakarna, and turns out really well. The radioactiveness is all cool. He has funny voice lines and shit. Good skin. Then of course this one. That's actually a really good card art for just the Master Race skin of Kali, the gold one. Okay, so item changes. Wait, miscellaneous, the caster. Let's talk real quick. Ron Jobert should have won. Don't understand how Gabriella Latigris won. I don't remember her last name. But goddamn, man, I was so upset about this. I pulled hard for Ron too on Twitch too and on Twitter, and I really expected that he was gonna win because so many people, it seemed, that watched the show said it was gonna be him or it was gonna be I'm losing my mind right now. It was gonna be him or it was gonna be Young Link, because Young Link, everybody was saying was like I think he was the fan favorite. You know, he was the most popular, but he wasn't in the top 2, and Latigris was, and I'm like, how the fuck did Latigris being, no offense to Latigris, although obviously you can't really say that and say like you shouldn't have won, but at the same time, man, it's just nuts to me because I feel like so many people watched the show and said Ron is better. Like they were very vocal, and then there were all the people that just went on Smite, logged in and saw, oh, free announcer pack if you vote on this thing. They voted. They see 2 people. They see, you know, little Ron, scrawny little Ron, and they see Latigris, and they're like, well, who's more put together? Who do I want as a caster? And they just picked Latigris. That's honestly what I feel happened. That or it was rigged. But anyway, sad day. They all got picked up for something. I think winning, though, obviously Ron would have loved to get $10,000 and probably would have given him a better place to do what he wants to do. Them all getting higher doesn't mean they're all going to be in the same kind of like casting position that they wanted to. But by them, I mean Latigris, Ron, Young Link, and Rabies. And I think that's a fantastic lineup for Hi-Rez because they really need the talent right now. They're trying to branch out in all different areas, and those guys were all very solid. Even Latigris. But I think Latigris doing things like hosting and stuff, and I guess her Hand of the God stuff, which I haven't seen, is probably better than you know, the general Smite and Paladin stuff that we saw from her. But, you know, I guess I'm super biased, but at the same time, like I said, the polling looked like it was for Ron. Rigged. It was the electoral vote system, the Electoral College, that did it yet again. Blackthorn Hammer. Item balances. Really, the items not so much impactful for Duel, in my opinion. Blackthorn Hammer is one that it had like a very interesting trigger for its threshold thing, where you get extra stats once you reach 30%. They put it to 40% now, and they've decreased the gold to 2,200. And overall, I think that's a really, you know, really good thing for them to do. I still don't know about this item. Like, I will just never feel confident going it. Because, you know, like at that kind of threshold, you're starting to retreat, you're starting to like feel cautious, so they want you to go in at that point, which usually would be like warriors and stuff, or gods that can heal especially. I guess you can reach that threshold and then heal, but I don't know. I'm not sold, but maybe. It depends how good the stats are overall for this item. I'm definitely going to take a look at it and see where it lies. Once it's, you know, on the PTS and everything. Stone of Foul, this item they reduced from 27 to 2,500, which is a really great change. It gives magical protections and magical damage, and I think cooldown reduction as well, which is nice. It gives you a good base stats, but the passive of this item was, which one was this? The passive it gave you, let's see. Oh, this was the anytime you would be dealt more than 30% of your max health. So this was by a single ability. That is a rarity. Like, almost never happens in Duel because you're building defense. So, you know, it won't really... really, the thing is, because you're both the building defense. So even the mage that you're fighting isn't going to hit the same numbers that they would if they were a burst mage on the opposite side of the spectrum. So I think that's really what it ends up being. In Conquest, you know, the mage will go completely burst, and they will be able to do those amount of numbers to you. But in Duel, both of you go on protections, which means, you know, you're having more beefiness up against their damage, and they are doing less damage. So it ends up not really proccing the passive too much, and that doesn't really help you out too much. And it's kind of just wasted because it's all just in the stats. So unless the stats were broken, you wouldn't buy this item. And hopefully they're not. I don't think so, but they do seem pretty good for that price. Relic Dagger. This one's just pretty much a support item. I don't think it'll ever really be played much in Duel. Relics are a lot more important in Duel than they are in... I mean, relics are a lot more important in Conquest and things like that than they are in Duel, because supports, you know, you need the shells up more often, they need their blinks. It's kind of just a wasted item in Duel. It gives decent stats, but it's just too much of a waste in like power, and it now gets 50 more health, but still, in my opinion, just not a breadwinner item. Now here are the big changes, God changes. This is definitely why we're here this time around. Acne is getting a buff. And they're pumped about it because Agni is a great god. He's fun. Everybody loves him. He's really, you know, one of the staples of Smite because he was so early, and he's, you know, he's the god of fire. He's very iconic, but he has not been doing that well in Conquest. Now in Duel, he's been kind of teetering on viability, I'd say. He can do a lot of shit. Like, he can get a decent position in a duel and hold it, and because he has a lot of good pressure, but his auto attack chain is definitely something I'm glad that they changed, or rather just his attack speed in general. He was very sluggish before. He would turn around and like it was just awkward. It wasn't as fun to play. Personally, I think having the auto attack chain so that you, like, you know, enjoy yourself more in neutral and you just feel the god, you blend with the god more, you know, actually just feels more natural. So I think that's a great quality of life change, as well as, you know, it allows you to add more autos into your game, so that's great. Especially like up against the wave and stuff for extra clear when your abilities are down. And then you have Rain of Fire change, 60 to 70% per meteor power scaling increase, and a 2% decrease in his cooldown for meteors. So this man is going to be slinging fireballs at you for 10% more and 2 seconds earlier than usual. So that's really good. You combine that with lowered cooldown reduction, and he's actually going to be, you know, definitely a force to be reckoned with. So look out for Agni, as he might actually finally be relevant and a little bit more viable. I hope so. I don't think he'll be up at the top because he's still, his damage is a little too hard to confirm, I'd say. But with more meteors in general, then that just means, you know, more confirmable damage. So could work out for him. I think he'll definitely move up at least a tier. Alright, so Daji. Now this I'm glad, because the god, I thought she was going to be broken, but I knew she was just missing a little bit. They gave her a base health increase and a base health per level increase, which adds up to be nice little bit more bulkiness for her. It does a good amount. And, you know, it's just a solid assassin that needs to go in as much as she does. She's going to be taking a lot of damage, guaranteed, because she can't, like, you know, evade it by going back out after she's decided to all in on somebody. So giving her more health is a really good idea. Now, they also gave her attack chain, well, a fitting attack chain, whereas before it was kind of a progressing one that took longer to do the, you know, the final autos in it. Now it's 1-1-1, all of them hitting at the same time. Sorry for my lack of breath. I was doing well this time, though. It's tough. It's a big part of my anxiety. If you guys aren't familiar, I suffer from panic disorder, so it's something, you know, that I'm always struggling with and trying to get better with. Like I said, the music helps a little bit, and this is the second take, but I gotta say, I think it went a lot better than the first. But let's finish it out strong. Hope you guys have been enjoying. Really, more than anything, I love doing these with you. Let me know your thoughts and everything in the comments, because, you know, it's not the same if I'm not interacting with you guys. Now, like I said, all that is great, right? That's all well and good. That's great for her. I think that's what they should keep it at. But then they go in and say horrible burns. Let's give her Fatalis effect. So she now has like Kabrakan autos where he runs at you and he tries to attack you, but this is on a deadly assassin that can kill you in like 3 abilities. All right, so Kabrakan can sometimes too, but he's, you know, he's Kabrakan. He deserves that. She's gonna be able to just swipe at you with this shit and burn the shit out of you. Then her Paolo, I forget how to pronounce this.
Hello, YouTube. Hi, Savannah. I love you.
Thank you, Nick Walker. I love you too. Thanks for the 100 bits. I turned that off, and he's still able to donate and make the sound. I don't know how that happens, but I'm gonna figure it out. At least it doesn't show the animation. Breaking the goddamn mold. All right, so she's also now going to be able to actually hit you with the change. You know, the change took like a million years to come out and actually hit the ground targeter. Now their travel times 0.3 seconds, nearly halved. So she's going to be able to hit you with probably 2 out of 3 of those things on the average, instead of probably half, 0.5 of them, I'd say. You'd maybe get 1. It's true, honestly. That's all I ever saw most of them get, of the Dajis. if you juke accurately. So now she's going to be a really crazy force, and I think she's definitely going to be higher S tier. The only problem with her is still that she doesn't have, a potent escape, because she is such an all-in god, and she needs other creeps to be able to teleport to. So yeah, we'll see how it works out for her, but I definitely think she's going to be monstrous. I don't want to fight her. I hate fighting her so much, and Lord knows I cannot play her. Now this one I'm very happy about. Hou Yi, they completely removed the damage amplifier that it gets per bounce on non-god. So anything that's not a god, he will no longer be able to just one-shot the red buff, and that's fantastic because this god was so dumb and so bloated. We've all been complaining a lot about him lately too. He's so easy in Duel. He can just manipulate the whole map so easily to his favor. And he's definitely going to go down a little bit. I think he'll probably still be S+, maybe near the bottom, or maybe more near the middle, whereas he was closest to the top now of S+ for me. But overall, this is, yeah, it's a good change. Really, really good. The biggest thing is also the clear that this affects. His mid, or not mid lane clear, his lane clear, where he'll now just have to use the one straight through. And that was the noob choice for Hou Yi before. That's an NShadow play, where I can't hit the bounces to give amazing clear. So now I just have to settle for shitty clear. And it is pretty shitty clear. It's not that fantastic. So he's going to lose a lot of pressure. Definitely could go down to that bottom of S+. I could see him going down even a little bit more than that, but we'll see. Some people think he's like done. Other people are like chill. I'm more towards the chill, but we'll see. I have high hopes. I want him to be done. I'm sick of that god. Isis, a little bit of increased base damage on her ultimate. Not going to be that big of a change for her, I'd say, in my opinion. So there's a lot of writing here. I didn't read it. I don't think it's going to hit that much harder. I see more rewarding when fully empowered. How is that? Because the increased base damage is 20. And then it goes up a little bit and it still ends up being 320. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think that that's going to be a big change for her. But anyway. Giannis, they buffed by giving his increased base damage. Again, a lot of increased base damages. And increased magical power scaling on his unstable vortex. They did this on only the initial hit of it, and then they nerfed the double hit. Now, the thing is, you're not often hitting that double hit in a 1v1 scenario. In any scenario, I would say more often you're hitting the one hit for sure. That's just, it's common sense, because you have to actually line up the two hit like perfectly, and you can't always do that. Opponents are moving, so the only way you can do it is if you hit them with a portal. That way, the portal secures that you can hit that double hit perfectly. But the thing here is, like, even in Conquest, when you use the portal, you're getting rid of your escape. So I'm not sure if that's the play, because I think they weren't doing the double hit that much in the first place. I could be wrong. I might be talking about my ass, but I feel like this is the wrong change. I feel like they made him stronger now for Conquest. I just don't want to hear complaints all year from the SPL saying that this god is dumb, because he always, teeters on dumbness. It's ridiculous what he can do, but you have to keep him in close check, and we'll see how it goes with this change. I'm sure if it's not good, they've been through this before with Giannis, and they'll change it. But they also increased the damage of his ultimate. What did they change it though? It says, oh, plus 50% of your magical power. Increased base damage and scaling. So what did it have before? I don't know. But I guess I don't know what the hell it had. But it is, oh, I'm an idiot. Oh, wow. Okay, never mind. I completely got, it's 25% more. That's crazy on his ultimate for just the base damage of it without the increased range amplifier. Now, what they did was they got rid of the 200% that it could get at 800 units and just kept it at 100%. It'll no longer just one-shot somebody. That wasn't really a dual problem anyway, but, good that they changed that. Otherwise, the ult is actually going to be hitting harder now, and his Juke is going to be hitting harder, so Giannis is going to be a little bit better. This is a good buff for Giannis, which is nice in Duel because he wasn't that good. Now, Uller, this is some fucking bullshit. This is the craziest buff I've ever seen for anyone. They buffed him in every single area. It's because he's not used much outside of Duel, though. He's not a big Conquest god. He's not a big ranked god, not a big SPL god. Certainly not big at the lower levels because he's high. He's very high skill cap. So Now, they gave his passive meter that tracks his stances, the cooldowns during them, which is really good because it's hard to know, like, if your axe is up, if you're going to turn into the axe stance, and, you know, you have to wait 2 seconds on it. You were better off just autoing for that time. Now you can just wait on that, get the autos in, and then go perfectly into the axe. So that's pretty rough. That's good already. Yo, that helps. That's quality of life that's bigger than people even realize, I'd say. Then they go bladed arrow. Okay, let's do this. Increase the physical power scaling 70 to 80%. All right, wow. So that ability that already hit for that much is now hitting for 10% more. Sure. Thrown axe, decreased casting time. They halved it. They have the time that it takes him to actually throw the axe itself. And now he's just going to be fucking slamming you with axes very easily, because it's going to be a lot easier to track your juke pattern when he's going to have the axe thrown so much quicker. Before, it was really awkward and he had to, like, you know, turn a lot and, like, move and keep up with you, and it made it hard. That's why I suck at his axes. So I'm happy for that, kind of, but also it's too much. Thrown axe, also, let's slap on another 10% increased physical power scaling for that. Oh, did I mention we wanted to get rid of his mana problems? His 2 now only cost 50 at all ranks instead of 60 up till 80. Hail of arrows, you know what else? We're going to decrease the mana on that one as well. 70 to 60. 70 up till 90 it even was. Now it's just 60 at all ranks. They're also going to give it an updated FX to make it more clear. That's nice, sure. But they sneak in this decreased casting time from the stance switch as well. So the stance switch is going to be getting that nice change where he can just immediately change and throw an axe at you because you're going to be that quick with it. The axe comes out so fast now, and the stance switch being that quick too, that you're not going to be able to react in a lot of cases. So, I don't know, man. This guy's going to be fucking nuts. I am definitely banning him. I think he's going to be OP. He's going to definitely go from S+ to OP, in my opinion. Hou goes down. This guy goes way up. I've already been banning him for the most part. Now I'm going to ban him twice. I'm done. I'm not having any Uller. I feel bad for Uller this patch, because I think more than anything, the people that love Uller aren't going to be able to play him anymore. Because fuck that shit. It's too much. I can't do it. So, I'm out. I'm out with this Uller. Overall, great patch. Really happy about most of it. Not Uller, but yeah, skins are great. Discordia looks awesome. Changes to Hou, sick. Alright, thanks so much for watching, you guys. Remember to subscribe to the channel. I really enjoy doing these with you. Let me, always give me feedback, positive or negative. As long as, you keep it respectful, I appreciate it so much. So, thank you, and I'll see you next time. All right.